What is up? What is up, everybody? 'Tis I, Photo Dave. This is Toypixx. You're watching a live stream. Thank you for stopping by. I certainly appreciate it. Now, before we really get cracking, here's the deal. Here's the question. I always like to ask this for the replay crew. What figures in the last week have you been most excited about for taking pictures of? Now, I'm talking about the ones that have recently gone up for pre-order or anything that's been announced. So yes, today's Marvel Legends live stream counts, and we will be talking a little bit about today's Marvel Legends live stream as well as switching it up with a few things. So it's going to be a different kind of Monday night. We'll see what everybody digs. If you like it, we'll keep going this way. If you don't, the analytics will tell me I'm bad people. Now, let's see what we've got. Rex Ship is in the house. What's up, sir? Let's talk about those strange tales, Marvel Legends. Oh, we shall. We shall. First, of course, we're going to talk about all the stuff that we generally talk about on a Monday night, which are the photogenic figures. But then we'll get into the legends. Hola, Mr. Spencer. What's going on, sir? Thanks for stopping by. And Harry just got the CT Toys Spider-Man 2099, and I love it. Oh, man, which one's the CT Toys one? Oh, boy, go me. Yeah, is that based on Across the Spider-Verse? Or is that a comic one? I know Mafex is doing a comic one. I know SHF did Across the Spider-Verse. So, just curious. I think, yeah, I'm trying to get my brain wrapped around everything here. Now, before we really get cracking, I wanted to show you guys this. It's been a little while since I've talked about this, so bear with me. This is the Toypixx Patreon page. Now, before you think I'm trying to sell you here, everything on it is free. Anything that I put up on here in order to help you guys with your action figure photography and gals, anybody watching, to help you out here, and it will always remain free. Now, I am trying to figure out what to do for paying members. Things might be like talking about various pop culture properties. Like here's this. This is the latest wallpaper I put up. So if you dig a black hole, game on, go for it. But there are literally thousands of files on here. So check out the Toypixx Patreon. See if you need something, grab it for free. And if you want to throw some money my way, I ain't going to stop you, but you don't have to. That's the deal with Patreon. So I did want to make sure you guys knew that was there because it's just been forever since I've actually talked about it. Mr. Spencer, didn't realize there was a live stream today. Been a bit distracted by job search. Ooh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. How long have you been searching? Because job searches suck. I've been just trying to find contract gigs, and it's a pain. Harry, it's the Figuarts knockoff Spider-Verse with better maskless heads. Oh, okay, sweet. Thanks, Harry. I don't know that I knew that was coming out. I mean, maybe, I'm sure somebody probably brought it up to me. Let's see. Ha, you can't sell me on your Patreon. I already pay. I am too cunning for your tricks. You are, Mr. Spencer. And I much appreciate it, man. Let's see, the wallpaper will work for the re-release of Deadpool and Wolverine figures going into the multiverse. Oh, man, that's something. I could have put like those electric spark effects. I didn't even think of that. Let's see, searching since Wednesday was a heck of a surprise. Oh, man, that's the worst kind of surprise. Well, hopefully you're able to find it pretty quick. It seems, depending on the industry, like well, a lot of what I do is photography, it's graphic design, it's brand, but it's tougher for me to sell the brand thing. So it's easier for me to talk about all those other things. And what they'll want, like I'll be looking up, say, a job description, and it will say, yeah, must know Adobe Creative Suite. Okay, cool. Must know photography. Okay, cool. Must know HTML. I'm like, wait. When did I learn HTML when I went to art school? So there are those gigs that always drive me a little nuts. And it's not like it's this little thing where I look at it and say, well, that's similar to Photoshop. I could learn it. It's a totally different skill set. So hopefully you're not dealing with that and your stuff's pretty straightforward. You were customer service, right? Or is that somebody else I'm thinking of? Okay, so let's get into what we're here to get into. I will shut down my shameless plug. And we shall go to... You guys like when you just see my head sitting there while I'm trying to figure all this stuff out? I thought I was ready, and then I realized I was not. Open with Obi Nobi. Oh, I know what's going on. See, guys, I've got some extra folders saved here, and the way that I would normally open is sitting there saying, no, no, you can't open that way. Now we're good. Eventually. There's a lot of files here. There's a lot of good stuff to look at. Okay. Now we're good to go back and do things. Here we go. All right. Now, number one here, going through the photogenics type stuff. Who here, and I know you, Mr. Spencer, I know you've got this. Who here has, let's see, Chester Cheetah? Because Chester's kind of rad. He's good stuff. And this is just a repaint. It's a glow in the dark. It's the fire one, the fire flavor or whatever. I almost wish it weren't glow in the dark because I feel like it gives it something that is unnecessary. I know that a lot of people like their glow in the dark stuff though, so it's no judgment on Jada or anything. It's just, I wonder if it was like, see how shiny the figure is back here? I wonder if it would be that shiny if it weren't glow in the dark. I'm just not sure. But yeah, check that out. The Flamin' Hot, that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. It's a good look for the red. I mean, he does look a lot more Flamin' Hot with glow in the dark. And of course, Chester's photogenic because he's just a repaint of the Chester we all have. But I think he's sweet, so I thought I had to show him off. And if you don't have him yet, man, now you've got two ways you can get a Chester. And of course, there's all the packaging. Woo, pushing the buttons. Tragic. Hey, Dave in chat. Hey, Tragic. Thanks for stopping by, man. All right. Observe as the chat moves faster than I can. Yep, customer service. And I have a great prospect just waiting on a callback. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, keep us posted on how it goes. Wreck ship. This is what I love, guys. People walk in, you're like, hey, what's going on, everybody? Let's see, on the bright side, let's see, I have some time to open my backlog of figs. All right, now that is a bright side. It's never a bad time to open figures. In fact, I'd start whenever you start the new gig, I just walk in with like 10 unopened figures and just be like, all right, guys, here's the deal. Actually, no, for the interview. You walk in with a bunch of unopened figures and you say, here's the deal. I'm totally good with whatever vacation days you want to give me with the pay and all that. But when I get a new figure, you need to allow me to bring it in so I can open it up because it's the only time I have time to do so. And I think you're totally in. They wouldn't think that was weird at all. These are my brilliant suggestions. See, I'm not going to get the Flaming Hot one, but my ex-work sister is going to. All right. Is that because you're going to get it for her and send it her way, or because she's just going to get it? Let's see. I've got the first Chester. I want this one, but I got to prioritize that Player 2 Chun-Li. Which one? Is the pink one Player 2 or is the red one Player 2? Jericho, what's up, Dave, fellas? What's up with you, man? Thank you for stopping by. We've already gotten through Chester here. We're going to go, let's see, Wreck Ship. See, probably won't be able to make the Thursday live stream, so I'll just say it here. I'm so pumped for Joe Fest this weekend. So many exclusives. Man, okay, here's what I want to see coming like from all over the internet. It sounds like the 100th figure for Action Force is going to be Bone Collector. I just want to see that exclusive bone collector. And then I want to see Praetorians and Recon Corps. Okay, Praetorians, Recon Corps, and that 100th bone collector. Those figures, I need my inbox spam. So if anybody's going to Joe Fest, get those pictures. And if you see anything else you think I think it's cool, game on. I wanted to go this year, but hoping for next year. She's just going to get it. All right, all right. Okay, let's jump in. Never mind. One more. She loves flaming hot Cheetos and Chester. Man, I'm waiting. What's the one that Robo was talking about? I don't even eat Cheetos. I just think Chester's awesome. It's is it cheddar and jalapeno or jalapeno and cheddar? I don't know. That's also a Fritos cheese dip flavor. It's quite tasty. But all right, let's get back to it before I totally lose what little sanity I seem to have. Show me preview. There it is. All right. One more of Chester. Now, I love this Batmobile. I would love to just load up on Batmobiles for my Mafex Batman figures. So here's my question. Anybody that has this or like collected the old school animated series Batman stuff, I know this is a reissue, although I'm not sure the lights are. Like, are the lights new? Or anyway, that would be a separate question. The real question here is, how well would this scale with the Mafex either Hush or Nightfall / Night Crusader Batman? Do you think any of them would fit in this Batmobile? That's my question. Excuse me. Basically, if you have one of those figures and you can stand them next to that Batman, do they look like they're roughly the same size or no? Because it looks like there's actually a little bit of clearance going on there with the room, with the headspace. And we got to love the lights on the inside. When McFarlane crushes it, McFarlane crushes it. And I was pretty happy to see this thing. I love the look of this. And I've always liked the design of this Batmobile. It's weird. Maybe it's just because I kind of grew up on them, but this one and the '89 Batmobile are definitely my favorites. I like the tumbler, but I feel like the design's almost too complicated. All right. Now, we're going to get into talking DC Multiverse. And we're going to keep moving because I don't want to keep you guys forever because we could be here forever. But, guys, I got the email from Mezco for my King Conan. I wasn't ready for this, and thank goodness I didn't go crazy spending. That's all right. Tragic. That's going to be a sweet figure. Like, every time people talk about Conan from Mezco, they're like, yeah, this is pretty much one of the best figures in my collection. So I think you're going to love him. I was tempted by him. I thought he was very cool. Get through a few more on the chat. Just show Dave all the Action Force. That's pretty much accurate. I think, yeah, I started naming them, and then I'm like, well, no, how about this one? Oh, definitely show me this one. Definitely, we need this too. See, the pink Chun-Li is the player 2. Those extra faces are a must-buy. I love the extra faces, and I have the player 1. And from what I understand, it looked like I saw package shots. I can't remember. I was looking for them, but I couldn't find them. But in package shots, have that smiling face for the Chun-Li we already have, the player 1 one. So, yeah, I need to look into that as well as Violent Ken. Street Fighter's got money that I'm going to have, and then it's going to go right to them. Unfortunately, Valiverse is going to be at the Dallas-Fort Worth. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that. Oh. Well, anybody going to the DFW show? I wanted to see. I didn't know they were happening on the same weekend. Oh, wow. That sucks. I was going to go to DFW. Mr. Madsen was trying to talk me into it or told me about it and everything, and I thought that'd be sweet to go to. I had no idea they were on the same weekend. This is going to be a great weekend for G.I. Joe and Action Force. I'm hoping Valiverse shows up in November here in Maryland. They had to cancel this last one. Ooh. Oh, dear. Let's see. Aren't the Batman? They are 6-inch, but I'm just wondering how they scale with, like, is it Are they just too small? Are they just too tall? Are they just, if they're just one way or the other, I think they'd be fine. I'm just curious how close they are. See, the Batmobile would most likely scale better with 6-inch. And Mafex is, they run about 6 1/4 to 6 1/2. Here, I'm on King Conan waitlist. All right. Well, here's hoping it converts for you. I saw the Shadow for sale on BBTS for $170. The Shadow, that was the Mezco Shadow, right? Yeah, $170. That's a little off. Balaverse is revealing a bunch of stuff at DFW. Oh, great. I'm going to need to see a lot. The internet will, I'm sure, provide. Vala still has Joe Lanta on the schedule. Oh, man. When's Joe Lanta? All right. I'll try not to keep getting bogged down in my own questions. So anyway, we have this DC Multiverse Batman, and he's based off the McFarlane Nightfall mold. And from what I understand, that is about the best Batman that McFarlane's put out. So I see this, and I know that I give DC Multiverse a hard time, but there was somebody that left a comment on one of my shorts last week, I think it was. And remember when I was giving these figures all grades, like, okay, this figure gets a whatever out of 7. He said, you always give McFarlane a 4 out of 7. And this was a year ago, maybe, that I was doing a lot of those. And I commented back, yeah, that's when I was doing this. These days, they get more 5s and 6s. And I realized with that, McFarlane has improved. And one of the ways, the main way I would say they've improved is their accessories. And if they get to that point where the waist articulation and the hip articulation works, I think they're going to be pretty tough to beat. I like their articulation scheme. It just needs better engineering. And this manga Batman, like all the stuff he comes with, I do wish that McFarlane weren't so into stands and cards and all that stuff. Like even this disc stand, okay, I know a lot of people like that. I'm not talking about the disc stand. I'm talking about like the card stand here. Like this Batman could still be $25 if we didn't throw this in here. And I think it looks good. I have to admit it. I mean, McFarlane, when I caught myself saying today their stuff would be more like 5s and 6s, I was like, wow, they've really improved, and all I do is sit here and dog them. So I wanted to showcase this Batman because I think he looks good. I wish the cape were better. I wish the cape were cloth, just because McFarlane's been doing that lately. But I still think he looks good. And then here's, I think this is a chase of it. And then we got Connor Kent, who, from a technicality standpoint, he's got accessories, he's got heads, he's got hands, he's got all the things that should work. I don't have the McFarlane figure, so I don't know how he works as far as articulation. It looks like the diaper here could be cut up a little more to give him a little more hip articulation, but he's got a lot of stuff. I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't get so much into Multiverse just because of the scale, but I do have to admit, things do seem to be improving. Bam. I do enjoy that effect. Although, if I'm being picky, these sides should be popping up more. Like that kind of looks like a little Superman hit instead of like a crash. But again, that's me being picky. All right, Sgt Rock. We're going to get through a bunch of this Multiverse stuff, guys, and then I'll head back to the comments. Sgt Rock, I think, has kind of he has a long torso look. But he's got tons of stuff. Obviously, he doesn't have any guns, but we all know that's a Warner Brothers thing, not a McFarlane thing. Another one that, I mean, the articulation scheme is there. They get it engineered correctly. These are going to be tough figures to beat if you like the looks of them. All right, that head probably needs some help. And I do enjoy that there's an Army Man variant, like a little green Army Man kind of guy. I think that's kind of funny. Oh, look at that. Okay. I'll get to the comments now and we'll come back to Chainsaw Man. Let's see, Jolanta, end of September. Thank you, Mr. Matson. I appreciate it. I've got a meeting on Thursday that may prove fruitful, and I might be able to start making some of this stuff. Yeah, Mezco Shadow. Really wanted him, but not worth the money. I will for sure get Mezco Duke. Mezco Duke, he's got two face sculpts that are really good, and then he's got another one that just looks, I don't know, almost psycho. Like his yelling face I like. His plain, just stoic face I like, but I can't tell, like the other one almost looks like he's being a creeper, which I don't even like saying that, but he has that look about him. It's very strange. But still, I do think that Mezco's killing it with the G.I. Joes. And while I knocked that one head sculpt, I did say those two head sculpts I thought were pretty good. I don't want to be too harsh. My brother lives in Dallas. Gotta tell him to go get me some Action Force. Oh, yeah. Make it happen. My brother lives in Austin, but I think that's like 4 hours away from Dallas. I'd be hosed. Sgt Rock. Did I say something wrong? I know he's Sgt Rock. Look, I've even got him labeled that way. Oh, well, you can't really tell. Let's see, but needs a better head. Okay, got it. Whew! Yeah, I think the head is a little off. I think that's what throws me. I was excited about Sgt Rock in 7, even at a scale, but not with that look. What's wrong with the look? Because I don't know my Sgt Rock like I should. Is it just the head? Yeah, the Shadow Mezco looks kind of off to me. Maybe I was expecting the Alec Baldwin version. Oh, yeah. It's tough when you expect a certain kind of way, and it just doesn't quite get there. But then you kind of sit back and you're like, yeah, but should I have been expecting that? Mr. Matson, the Enabler. Valid DFW exclusive is limited to 1 per family on Friday, 2 per family on Saturday, and unlimited on Sunday. Wow. Now, is the DFW exclusive that 100th figure? I swear I heard him say that, but I don't swear enough to totally parrot it. All right, let's keep going here with Chainsaw Man. This Chainsaw Man doesn't come with tons of stuff. He does have some extra hands he has. Anyway. But I missed the first SHF Chainsaw Man, and maybe this is just a reissue, but I can't find any listings that say this is a reissue, so I don't know if he's another one or not. He comes with a different kind of tie as well. Chainsaw Man, I still haven't seen it, but it's just crazy enough to be fun. Like, it just looks entertaining. Oh, and then we have Karis Otoha. In case you don't know, I have no idea what this is from. It is Storm Collectibles. So I'm going to just assume that it's going to be a highly photogenic figure. Like, I love what they did with the eyes. I don't know if that's, I have to assume, I should have read the description. I have to assume that's actually powered somehow because they lit it up for every shot. Or maybe it's just that it's got one of those clear or translucent blue things in the back of its head. But it's kind of tough to tell. There's all the extra hands, little lightning effect to go around the sword. I mean, it looks good. Looks good. I don't fault Storm for anything. I tend to think their stuff looks good. I just don't have any of it. So I don't ever know what to say about it. Mostly head and no guns. Disappointing. Got it, John. Got it. Yeah, the gun thing, it doesn't bug me from a McFarlane perspective. It definitely bugs me from a WB perspective. But yeah, that head is a McFarlane perspective kind of thing. Okay, what else do I have going on? Oh my gosh, have I already? Oh, wow. All right, I got through all the stuff that I had labeled as photogenic figures. Great googly moogly. So now let's head in. I've got to grab. Let's look at, what do I have here for this? Okay, let's do this. And don't worry, I will explain why I had some DC Multiverse as photogenic figures, but other DC Multiverse, not so much. And I know you guys might know that are talking in the chat, but there might be people that are first timers that haven't quite seen this and know what's going on with all this stuff yet. Tragic. That does look cool. Gotta wait for review on Karis. Yeah, I'm finding that I kind of want to be that way for almost everything. Like you doing the YouTube thing, you want to be the first person that gets his stuff in hand, but my tastes tend to skew on the slightly pricier side. So I also want to wait to see what other people get and see what they think. On the other hand, I'm noticing a lot of Mayfex stuff is starting to sell out, even on the import sites. So I got to get on it. All right. I keep pushing buttons. Don't worry. I know how to push buttons. Present pictures. Here we go. All right, I'm going to try and get through these fairly quickly. Just explain maybe why I don't consider them photogenic. I do think the look's okay on this one. I have no complaints about the look. The complaint is more that there's just not enough there extra accessory-wise. Now, with Fire, I don't know that she really needs an extra, like a weapon or anything like that. But maybe another head, maybe another set of hands, that kind of thing. Although I can't judge her on another set of hands, so I will bust her on the other head. This is one of those rare exceptions that DC Multiverse seems to have cut back on accessories. They really do seem to be stepping it up. So they should be rewarded for that, I think, if you're into 1/10 scale. But she looks good. And then we have Joker and Punchline. Now, this is the autograph edition that I believe was a Target exclusive. I could be wrong, so fact check me on that. But I like the look of them. I think Joker looks a little, I don't know. There's something maybe too long in the torso, but at the same time, his arms look like they're the same. They're the right length and all that. So maybe it's just the design. I don't know. But the autograph series, like I said, I think's Target. They're good-looking figures. I don't want to hold anything against them in that way, but there's just not enough meat on the bone, as the kids say. If we look at this, there's no extra hands, there's no extra heads. They both got stabbies. So the stabbies are good, and if I were sure that the scale was good on these two and the articulation worked, they'd probably still get like a 5 out of 7 if I were still doing that old grading system that I used to do. And then we've got a Metallo here who I debated not even putting up here because he's got one accessory. So I wouldn't consider him photogenic for that reason. There's just not enough there for a lot of expression. He just can't be an expressive figure. There's no extra hands, no crazy head. I mean, I guess that head's kind of crazy. So yeah, that's why with him, these two, I don't even know who Mr. Bloom is. I barely know who Rookie is. But again, we've just got an extra head and a base. No extra hands, no weapons, no nothing. I think that Rookie looks good. Mr. Bloom just looks crazy. Maybe that's the idea. I mean, he looks pretty close to his card art, actually, as I'm looking now. But yeah, just making sure that people know there's no... It's not hate necessarily here. It's just sitting here and saying, they need to come more or come with more to be really photogenic. That is kind of cool. All right. Now we're getting into Thundercats, and I promise we're closing in on the Legends, guys. Let's see. Why can't McFarlane do 6-inch? I would be buying so many figures. You know what? I'm glad they're not doing 6-inch for that reason, because then I'd probably start loading up. They have improved by quite a bit. So I'm okay with them not doing 6-inch. I agree, Harry. With other 6-inch accessories to use, the lack of accessories would not be as much of an issue. Yeah, I do wonder how much money he leaves on the table by having not gone with 1/12 scale. Maybe none. Maybe none. Maybe he had reports that told him to stick with 1/10. But I feel like mixing these in with other 1/12 scale stuff would just be a natural fit. Anyway, speaking of 1/10 scale, here we have Thundercats. Now, I don't do a whole lot of talking about Super 7, but it's not because they don't look good. It's not because they don't come with a bunch of extra hands and accessories. It's just the articulation. So the reason I threw them in here is because I'm excited about what might be happening with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003 figures, since they said they're going to get double joints. I'm curious what that's going to be, if there's going to be any other added articulation to them. So I'm bringing these in here to say, man, wouldn't it be nice if they started doing that with everything? Because if they did, and they had properties that I really dug, and they really don't except for TMNT, but still, I would probably be more likely to dip in a bit. Like, I'm just not, them being so limited in articulation is why they're a non-starter for me. So if they start pumping it up, I might need to sample one. How about you guys? Do you see anything, like, do you get into the Thundercats Super 7 line at all? I don't even remember these. Like, I guess I wasn't much of a Thundercats kid. I do enjoy this picture just because he's so much bigger than she is. And, well, I'm assuming that's a she. I don't know. It's Luna. So Luna, I would think, would be a woman's name, but I could be wrong. But having these two tiny hands, at first you look at them and they look like clips. But what they are just swappable hands for that one. And then, of course, you don't miss the hands for that one. So again, I think they look good. I do remember this guy, Robear Bill. Like, I remember the look of it. And he comes with a lot of stuff. Mr. Spencer, I've considered Hachiman, but my other Super 7s are so mad that I can't justify it. See, and that's another thing that's kept me away from Super 7. The only figure I've seen that seems to be universally loved from the Turtles is the Wingnut and Screw Loose. Everything else is kind of like, yeah, it's okay. And I don't want to spend $55 plus tax on okay. And then Royal Thunderian Guard. Extra head, extra hands, weapons. Like, that's what I'm saying. The only thing that holds me back is the articulation, but they look good. But the promo pics, or like the renders, always look good. I do enjoy this picture, basically saying, yep, you're going to have to buy several. That's smart right there. And then here's the extra thingy you get for buying directly from Super 7. And one last thing, we've got Toxic Avenger from, I guess, a movie? I don't think I saw the movie. But again, extra head, extra hands, bloody mop with a U.S. flag on it. And this one is Super 7 only, I believe. I've got, like I said, I've got a link to this in the video description if he looks like something you guys want to grab. But yeah, look at, he would be so much more fun with double jointed elbows. Ah. Let's see, I love the Disney Robin Hood, but he's got some issues that give me pause on purchasing more. Ah, that sucks. Super 7 figs are like shrunken versions of Mondo 1/6. The articulation is the same, and they have better sculpt and a very similar paint scheme. Let's see. They do have good sculpt. Isn't Mondo, like, I haven't paid enough attention to Mondo's 1/6 stuff. I mean, I've seen it, and it looks incredible, but because I don't get into that scale, I haven't really dissected how the joints work. Are they single jointed, or can they move a little better than Super 7s? And Snake Eyes is decent, but again, joints and some other minor issues give me pause. I do enjoy my classified Snake Eyes, I have to say. LBZ, the 1/6 has a better sculpt. I mean, okay, gotcha. Let's see. It is single jointed. Oh, Mondo, why? Why you gotta do me like that? All right. So let's get out of here. Go away. Hide. It's me. Hi, guys. All right. I need to grab now. Close this guy out. I could have done that first, huh? And I've got one more folder to go through, and it's just SDCC exclusives that we know about so far. And then we will get into the Legends talk. I wanted to try and get through this fairly quickly so we could get to the Legends talk, and anybody that's sitting here waiting to talk about Legends isn't sitting here just twiddling their thumbs, being all annoyed because it's taken forever. All righty. Here we go. I will now share screen and narrate as I push the buttons. All right. Mr. Spencer, we know this is one you'll be trying to get at, but we have like a superhero Alf, which is kind of funny. Alf was one of those things that just didn't sit in my nostalgia, kind of like He-Man. But the more NECA produces stuff like this, the more I crack up. And Alf might end up in the collection at some point. We'll see. The sculpting is so good. Great googly moogly. Alf has a selfie stick. I saved these images and didn't notice. And Alf comes with all the things. That's something else about NECA. Sometimes they have, their paint is so good that even if they have single joints with all their stuff, it's a lot more forgiving to me than Super 7. And I don't know. I don't have any of the other Alfs. I don't know what the joint system's like. I just know this looks like a fun figure that I know probably won't have many QC issues. See, in the elbows, the knees have better range. Oh, okay, got it. No worries, LBZ. Thank you. Let's see. I knew you were getting that. It's good stuff. It is. It looks incredible. All right. We have this as well, a glow-in-the-dark Nosferatu from NECA. And this dude, I feel like being a little bit of a cinemaphile, or a cinephile, I guess, I kind of want a Nosferatu, but I don't know that I want the glow-in-the-dark one. I know Mezco has one. NECA's made their normal one. But this does look pretty cool. And like I say, I'm not a glow-in-the-dark guy, but I kind of like I really like the green there. But I also really like when he's just standing there. It's a creepy dude. And that card, I had to double check to make sure that he was 1/10 scale, like he's 7 inches. But I saw that card and I'm like, whoa, is he a tiny figure? And I didn't notice it. And then you've got all other stuff that are these monsters. All right, now we have our player 2, Chun-Li, which I just found out thanks to you guys tonight. So this is awesome. And this is like you're going to be able to get it at Jada's Next Level shop after SDCC. I would encourage you to do so because I got a lot of questions after I got the Evil Ken last year saying, oh man, how'd you get it for so cheap? I'm like, I just got it on the Jada site. I didn't wait till it was gone. So I would encourage people to pick this up if they want it when it comes out. As soon as it hits the site, maybe not. Evil Ken or Evil Ryu was up for quite a while. So I mean, I'm not saying that she will be, because she has a part that you'll be able to directly use for the first player Chun-Li. So she'll probably sell out faster, but I don't know if she'll sell out fast, you know? But I do enjoy that she's got that head, and she's got the peace hands, I think, too, doesn't she? Maybe I just didn't. Yeah, there you go. So you can use the hands with the other Chun-Li as well. And that's the selling points on this one, as far as I'm concerned, is the head for the other Chun-Li and these hands for the other Chun-Li, because I always gravitate towards the player one looks. But yeah, I'm thinking she's a necessity. And while we're on the Street Fighter 2 train, we have, what is it, Violent Ken. I don't know much about Street Fighter lore, but I know Ken doesn't look like a happy guy here. And he's another one that's going to be on Jada's next level shop. Woo, I do love that arm effect. And I do enjoy this. Like when I got the Evil Ryu, I love the signs that just, like the one just breaks. And I think it's really cool. So yeah, this Ken, the one thing they could have done to sweeten the deal on this, although he is a different character perhaps. I mean, at least from what I read about Evil Ryu, he's a different character than Ryu himself. So if Ken's the same way, I guess it makes sense that he wouldn't come with another head for the other Ken. But yeah, I like this a lot. Street Fighter 2, Jada kills it. I would like to just load up on Jada. I want to load up on Jada like I do Mafex. It's very strange. One has a slightly easier price point. But yeah, I think he looks really good. See, Alf, double elbows of a sort, knees limited, good head and jaw. Awesome, John, thank you. Woo-wee. Yeah, it's all love with these Street Fighter figures. I'm assuming you typed that in when Chun-Li was up. Tempted by player 2, Chun-Li. Yeah, it's Street Fighter 2 is tough for me to say no. I don't have the gray Ryu yet, but I am tempted. And they've been improving the figures apparently too. So it's like I better go back and get another Ryu, like another regular one. I like the pink better than the blue, but only barely. That's all right. You're going to have all the parts for both if you end up picking her up. Violent Ken is good, but I think it'd have to be discounted for me to get him. Don't really need two Kens. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Because there's not a lot of, like the Evil Ryu and the regular Ryu, there was quite a bit of color change difference. This one, it might just be more skin and hair. Okay, now we've gotten through all that. Now for the reason that anybody who's new here probably clicked. Don't worry, folks. I swear, we're going to get to this. I just got to call up the proper window. Okie dokie. We are looking at, as soon as I do this, now these are in alphabetical order, so we're going to see them, see the legends here. You're going to get highs, lows. It's not going to be how today's stream was. It started super high and then ended up less super high. Obi Nobi. And now I'm getting it to open in two windows. Oh no, of course, this is the part that's going to be a pain. All right, come on now. There we go. Back to StreamYard I go. Okay, now I saved this as Baron Mordo, but apparently this is now Dr. Mordo, and I clearly didn't know things. So what we have here is Dr. Mordo. Now, I haven't been paying a lot of attention to Legends. I will say he looks like he's got a great head sculpt. And anybody that's new here that's watching, I don't talk a lot about Legends because of the waist cuts, because I like to take pictures of figures from whatever angle I want to take pictures of them from. And if you're trying to turn the waist and you're trying to shoot, let's say, from the top, and now you see a flat spot at the waist, it makes it so the photo is not as much fun for me to shoot. So I don't talk about legends much because I don't get legends all that much. That said, there's a figure in here I'm pretty tempted by. So here's what we've got here for Mordo. More stuff that I just don't know. Like, I don't know about the body that was used. He's holding things. Okay, hold on. Before we get to Blackheart there, I want to look a little more at the hand situation. Okay, Mordo does have extra hands for sure. He's got the fists. He looks like the head's the same. All right, so there was Mordo. He wasn't one that seemed to generate a lot of excitement. This, however, is one that seemed to generate a lot of excitement, if only for the fact that he's a Build-A-Figure. I think that people would have been stoked to see Blackheart as a deluxe release, and so everyone knows, I wouldn't put it past Hasbro to make him a deluxe release. What I find hilarious, though, is we all know the Build-A-Figure marketing tactic is an evil tactic. By the way, anybody that throws in there, but it's marketing, no, it's how Hasbro does marketing. You don't have to do marketing this way. But I don't blame Ryan and Dan because they have to do marketing this way. It's how all of Hasbro does it. So I thought it was funny that Blackheart, who's basically the son of the devil in Marvel Comics, is showing how evil this marketing tactic is by being the Build-A-Figure. Still, I think it looks good. I do wish he were more than just black. Like, he's got the red eyes. I wish there was some kind of wash just to bring out the detail a little bit better in him. But I think he looks cool. I do think he looks cool. He's not the one that would tempt me because he's got the waist cut. But I do think he looks cool. Now we've got Bloodstorm. Bloodstorm, I don't think has a whole lot. Like, I was trying to look through the pics to see what I noticed about her. And she looks cool. But it looks almost like, well, okay, maybe that's a different hand. So I keep going through. I keep trying to find out. There we go. And there is a different head as well. So maybe she's got a little more going for her than I thought. But she's still on. See, I was hoping that like this would be the perfect body to put a ball peg waist on. And it looks like that's not the case. But man, if they put a ball peg waist on Marvel Legends, suddenly I'd be buying a lot more Hasbro product. Then we've got Rogue, part of the Rogue and Destiny 2-pack. That's an exclusive on Amazon, from what I understand. And yeah, she's got extra hands and an extra head. Destiny, however, where is, hold on, I know Rogue's got, there we go. All right. Destiny has nothing extra, but I know she's a figure that people have really wanted. See what you got here, John. Isn't that Brother Voodoo? Is it? You know what? You're right. You're right. I totally blew that. I don't know why I saved it in such a way. Oh, just skim the live stream. That first one is Brother Voodoo. Yep. And I clearly don't know my Doctor Strange like I should. I don't know why I saved him as Baron Mordo. Maybe because I just wasn't paying my attention. I was doing a little bit of work during the live stream, in my defense, although that's usually something that I would have caught myself on. But yeah, I think Destiny looks really good. If she's another one. If there was a ball peg waist, I think she was really cool. But that's one thing about Legends. They're starting to get the looks down. She might also have, hang on, let me see here. Oh, can't really tell. She might have, does that zoom in? That doesn't zoom in. That's dumb. Anyway, here I am babbling again. She may or may not have the bicep swivel. If she does, cool beans. If she doesn't, also cool beans, probably because of the cape, honestly. Oh, and you know what? I was wrong. She does have extra hands. So she does at least have that. And I gotta say, I don't know that Destiny needs to come with a lot of other stuff. So if she just had better articulation, a ball peg waist, I'd be really excited about her. I think she looks good. And here's the 2-pack. Rogue could use that ball peg waist. Basically, here's the deal. Here's the deal with Marvel Legends. Ball peg waist, I'm going to spend a lot more money. That's basically how it is. And I would consider them all far more photogenic. Now we've got Dracula. And he looks cool. I don't know my Strange Things all that well. I don't know my Marvel Dracula, actually. But I do know, looking at this, it looks like there's not a lot of articulation at the torso. There might be some at the waist, but I'm not seeing much at the diaphragm. And I think what we're looking at is a pretty good size overlay situation. Let me head back here. Look a little harder. Maybe there's something a little higher up, like right around his lower chest. Maybe there's a bit of a bend. I don't know. These are all the things I really look at when I'm trying to figure this stuff out. He's got 2 heads. He looks like he has extra hands. Like he got a fist there, or at least 1 extra hand. He looks killer, man. I mean, he looks really cool. John, no worries. I recognized him since I played the minis game and I own that model and noted the similarities. No, you're good. You're good. If you've got something, if I say something wrong, I am all for getting corrected. Destiny looks like she at least has, she does. And I didn't notice that before. And I honestly, I don't think Destiny needs a lot. Like, she would have been fine for me if she just had that ball peg waist. That would have been perfect. Rogue looks like she's got some sort of waist articulation. See, that looks to me like an overlay, but I could be wrong. She's probably got like a diaphragm, a diaphragm articulation that with that overlay twists the whole thing. And yeah, I'm wondering about Drac there. But now that you said that about Rogue, why don't we go back and check her once more? Yeah, let's see. Is that diaphragm easy to see? Let's see here. I don't know. It looks like an overlay situation to me. But maybe not. And if it is, I think she's just twisting at the diaphragm. But she does have an extra head and extra hands, and it's Rogue, so that's probably about all she needs too. If she could lean forward, and that's the one thing, is we're not getting any leaning forward poses on these figures. Oh my gosh, push the button. John, Marvel Legends, I'll usually look at if they have alt hands. Alt heads is a dream. Yeah, see, if I'm choosing between alt hands and alt heads, I think hands are so expressive that I'll pick hands before heads, but the dream, like you say, is definitely both. Would make a good Elric of Melonbone. See, now you're speaking in tongues, man. You're saying things I don't know. Which, let's be honest, that's about 99.9% of all the things, I think. Probably add a few more 9s onto there. So what is that, Harry? A bit bulky, but yeah. All right, I'm guessing that's Dracula. Great. Everybody knows but me. Yeah, it looks like there's something just under the chest, but I don't see... I mean, I'm sure the waist is there. I'm just not sure that we see, like, under that overlay. Maybe the overlay is kind of rubbery. There does, well, is that the leg going or more the torso? I think that's more the leg. All right, then we got Damian Hellstrom. And, I mean, you knew that they'd do this. They left it wide open when they were talking about the Spirit of Vengeance, when they were basically saying, or I'm sorry, the Engine of Vengeance, when they said, you will never see these versions of these characters again, which meant they were leaving it open to be able to repaint them like this, however they wanted. And that's just a dude with a trident. He does look like he's got extra hands, but I didn't see extra heads. Then we've got Lilith. Lilith, I did zoom in. She does have the bicep swivel. And she's obviously got extra hands. I'm going back and forth here to see if she has an extra head, and I didn't notice. I can't tell if she has an extra head. I don't think she does. But she has extra hands. She's just got that basic articulation, though. And then Man-Thing, who has really basic old-school articulation, but if you're an MCU fan, he's also got that MCU look. So if you're somebody that grabs this stuff and just puts it on your shelf to look really cool, I think this guy would get the job done. I do like how crazy his shape is and all the sculpted details. Like when light hits a figure like that, you get all kinds of crazy shadow that gets cast all over everything. That's a cool shot. Oh, Ted. Ted's got the extra hands. I don't know. I'm assuming the Build-A-Figure probably did too, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I know that we've all seen Man-Thing before, but I figured I should pull him up a bit. Eric, classy fantasy novel, or Elric, classy fantasy novels, good stuff. Classic fantasy. Good Lord, you'd think I could read. All right, Man-Thing is the most tempting. I don't know, man. I think he looks good, but I've got a different one that tempts me from the Bath Wave at least. Oh, okay, gotcha. I think that Blade, people still talk about that Blade as being an awesome figure. Trying very hard to not make Man-Thing jokes. You know, every time I say that, or anytime any of us say Man-Thing, it's basically a joke, isn't it? Because we all know what we're thinking when we say that. It's like talking about Nightwing. Maybe those two need to have a buddy comedy show. Uh-oh. Never mind. I'm just going to keep going. All right. Then we got Moon Knight, who I don't know what to say about this. I think this doesn't, I like all the accessories it comes with. The articulation's fine. He's got the belt on, which usually a belt will hide a waist cut, so that's probably all right. There's just something about it I'm not sure about. What do you guys think of Moon Knight here? I mean, he's got the big old onk. I think that's new. I don't think they've done that before. I used to have a Moon Knight, but it was a newer look Moon Knight. Like it wasn't the classic one. And he had a lot of the moon, like the throwing things that he came with. Yeah, that's right. I know everything about Moon Knight. He had the throwing things. But I know he didn't, at least the one I had, didn't come with an onk like that. Dang it. You know I'm going to be looking up Elric now. LBZ, his head looks kind of huge. Maybe that's it. You know what? I think you're right. I think that's what it is. It looks like a giant head on a tiny body. It's got its own planetoid. It's got to be it. Or maybe the hood is just so wide. Definitely need soft goods. It's like, does the body look wrong to you guys too? It's not the Vulcan body, is it? There's something that's not. I think you're right, LBZ. I think it's the head. Yep. I think you're right. Moon Knight is okay. Just seems off. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with this dude. Let's see. I have the best ML Moon Knights. I don't care for the gold. This figure is almost all reuse. Okay. Is it reuse from, like, how old's the reuse? Does it look like there's Yeah, it does look like there's butterfly joints, doesn't it? Hang on. I'm looking at the wrong screen and trying to click back. Okay, there's definitely butterfly joints. So I was wondering if it was the Bucky cap. Definitely not the Bucky cap. Yeah, it almost looks like, and I hate this critique because I hear it a lot, but it almost looks like a kid trying to cosplay as Moon Knight. I think that's what it is. And LBZ, I think you're right. I think it's because of the huge head. Just needs a custom cape. All of them need a custom cape, don't they? I mean, the one I had was that newer version and like the more modern look. I think the retro one's actually the newest one. But yeah. Moorings. Are moorings the things that he was throwing? Or moon rings, right? Moonerangs. Okay. I see it now, Mr. Manson. I don't know if is that technically the name or is that just something that's way more fun than the real name? See, I find that most Marvel Legends with capes could use some soft goods or cloth goods. All right, let's head back here. Keep going on these. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is what I saw and I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. Now, I know nothing about the articulation scheme on this guy. I know that Odin here doesn't have double jointed elbows, but this is almost like a NECA figure in that it just looks so good. And he's also like the dark side from DC Multiverse. It's Odin. Does he need to be all that articulated? It's just a really good looking figure. Like this thing, people talk about just something that you put on your shelves that's a traffic stopper. Like somebody's looking at your shelves and they just they zoom in, they just zone in on this Odin. That's what this figure looks like. Especially with that helmet. Like that's insane. I don't know much about Odin. I don't know much about Thor and Loki, to be honest. I mean, I know what happened in the MCU, and I've read some comics with them. But my comics growing up were more X-Men. You know, I didn't read much Avengers except Cap, and I'd pick up the occasional Incredible Hulk when Peter David was doing it, just because it seemed like a lot more fun. Yeah, I think Odin looks great. I think this is the one. LBC, that's what they called it in the live stream, the Moonerang. Okay. Thank you. Like I said, seriously, I was just I'm not going to leave it there. Let's go here. Let's leave that up while I'm talking to you guys. Didn't need the back of his head. Let's see, close to Mythic Legions without the detail. Maybe, you know what? This is one of those figures that could use like just a wash, but not a dirty wash. Like you'd want to hit it with a wash, at least in the gold areas, like maybe maybe not even a wash necessarily, as more like dry brush the high points with just a really bright yellow. And maybe the same with the greens, although the greens look pretty shiny on their own. And the gold looks kind of shiny. Maybe just his beard and the bone on his helmet. Or the tusks or the horns or whatever that is. Technically the name, rip off of Batarangs. Yeah, I figured. Every comic company seems to rip off the others. Yeah, Odin is cool. And I love the cloth goods cape. Once they start adding wire, I won't even know what to call them anymore. Will I still be calling them Marvel Legends? I'll be confused. Hugin and Moonin? Are those the Ravens? And did I pronounce it wrong? Is it Hugin or Hugin and Munin? Bork, bork, bork. Let's see, the Ravens. Got it. See, I just need to click faster. Or slower, maybe? All right, LBZ. Looks like you can knock someone out if you throw it at someone. Yeah, what did they say this thing is? 8 inches, 8.5 inches, something like that? You don't even need to knock them out. You'll just like stab them with those horns. Yep, I agree, Mr. Matson. That thing is beautiful. Like I said, man, like LBZ commented earlier on one of my posts on Twitter saying that he's really looking, I think he said he's going to get that cable that they recently did, and he's really digging this Odin. And I was still on the fence about cable, but I don't know that I can be on the fence about Odin. I think this thing's remarkable. I think they really did a good job. Of course, it's price dependent, but we'll see. Dry brush would be silver to give it a proper shine look. Let's see. Which part? Oh, you know what? Like, the reason that I didn't go with silver on the gold is because I wouldn't want it to look like it was chipping away. But silver on the green might look kind of cool. I don't know, man. Maybe we get it in hand and it doesn't need any help. Like, obviously, the live streams aren't the best places to really get a look at these things just because of the quality of it. You could even wash and dry brush. This is fair if I knew what I was doing. It's just, this is the first figure that I've looked at and really thought, oh man, just a little more and we could really bring a lot out on this guy. Usually I'll look at a figure and think to myself, they should have done it for me. I'm out. Dull the shine with dull coat. Oh, I don't know. See, I'm thinking the shine on this guy should be there, except maybe like in this little skirt piece here, the brown is probably supposed to be leather. So dull anything like that that's shiny. Maybe, I don't know. This looks like it's kind of scaly, so that's probably armor. So that probably needs to stay fairly shiny. Yeah, he looks good. Like skin and beard and leather, definitely, for sure. Those would need to be filled down if they're the same shine as everything else. Odin has so much sculpted detail that washes and dry brushes would next level the look. Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that's why my head right away went to that. Like, imagine sort of just a little bit of a black wash. Good Lord, words. Like a black wash on the leathery spots. Like, that would look so good. Yeah, I love this helmet, though. I wish I have to say, I wish this picture had that helmet. He looks angry. He does. He looks like he's going to hurt somebody. That does make me wonder about hip articulation, but at the same time, I'm not so worried. And it does look like, oh, you know what? I'm not sure that's waist cut. That might be ball peg. Just because you can see how it sort of rounds into that area. It kind of, at the bottom there, it rounds into the belt. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say there. I love that we can remove that hair and pop on whichever helmet we want. That guy is cool. That guy is just cool. I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. He comes with quite a bit. I've heard people guess $50. What do you think? If he's $50, is that too much? I know Legends right now are going for 25. This bad boy would be twice as much. Oh, then we got Phoenix. And I got to tell you, I'm tempted to get Phoenix. Now, I will get the Mafex Phoenix because I'm that guy. And I think the shine on her, I do think the figure looks better. But I love that this Phoenix is on this body. But I might still get her simply because, like, she's got multiple head sculpts. She has multiple hands. And she's got the accessory of everything that was shown today. Putting that together is so cool. Like, I would buy this Phoenix so that I would get this and then put this with my Mafex Phoenix. I am that sick. And truly, it's only because the Phoenix that comes with this doesn't have the ball peg waist. But look at how cool this is. Like, when they showed this, she was a showstopper too. Like, she and Odin, I think, are the big ones. Like, they're the things that I was just like, okay, you guys got something going here. And I heard a lot of people on, I think it was Displaying Model Behavior, a bunch of people were saying they're going to cancel their Mafex Phoenix. Go ahead, cancel that Mafex Phoenix so I can go in and get it because it was sold out at Ami Ami. So we need that to happen. But man, for what Marvel Legends does and for the fact that they seemingly just can't do updated articulation, then what they did here, I would say, is the best they can do. And they really did a good job with the best they can do. I love that stand and the Phoenix behind her. It's so good. Whoa, you guys got talking on that one. Remember, Toy Biz used to dry brush and add more paint apps. That's true. That's true. The last time I did, I was trying to look at the cost of everything. Plastic is actually seemingly lower due to inflation than it was way back when. And then I'm not sure about as far back as Toy Biz, though. So I don't want to say that. I think I was looking at 2015 for whatever reason. But paint has really skyrocketed. So it's not an excuse. I wish they'd use a lot more paint on this stuff. But at the same time, if they did, then they'd cost more and people wouldn't buy as many. So I get why they don't use as much paint. Again, I wish they could because, man, that's good stuff. That Phoenix, though, guys. I'm late to the show. I'm getting this Odin. Alex, I think a lot of people are getting that Odin. I'm tempted. I think I'll get that Odin, too. And I don't do the Marvel Legends thing. He's fantastic. Okay, Dave, I agree. He's more impressive than Man-Thing. That depends on who. You know what? This is me drinking. That was almost me making a non-PG joke. It's very hard sometimes, guys. Let's see. $50 would be okay, I think, for Odin. What about Jean here? Like, she's clearly not going to be the 25. And that base and everything, she might be 50 as well. She's going to be 40 at the minimum, I bet. Phoenix is good too. And I love that she's on the new Widow body. Gunstar, Phoenix is the only must-buy for me today, and not just because I live in Phoenix. Man, you live in Phoenix, you're picking up Phoenix, and she comes with fire. It's going to be a hot day when she shows up. There's no doubt. Yeah, I think she's cool, but I might honestly pick her up just for the fire effects. I wish the wingspan was much larger. I wonder I wonder if the wingspan is kind of an indication of how big the box is going to be. I don't know. I mean, you're right. It would be cool if it was a little larger and if the wings could fold in a bit. But I gotta say, I don't know that it gets much better than this, at least right now. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is pretty good. I do agree. I do agree that it would be nice if the wings were a lot larger. But my gut is if they were a lot larger, whatever the price is going to be here, you'd probably end up adding $5 to $10. So we'll have to see. I am curious what they're going to charge for her. Let's see. I'd bet on 40 to 50 for Phoenix. Probably okay on the lower end, maybe a bit much on the higher end, but I'd consider her. Yeah. What do you think, guys? I'm looking at the wings right now. They don't look to me like they have any joints. Do you guys see anything here that I'm missing? Mr. McDysentery. They directly referenced X-Men 97 in the stream and then didn't announce anything for it. Boo! Thumbs down. Phoenix looks nice. Want the flame effect for Jada Toys stuff. The flame. Just who in Jada uses like a Phoenix like this? My gut would be T-Hawk, but I'm not sure. Only because Thunderhawk, like that makes sense to me. Harry, at least they didn't make the flame effects as a Build-A-Figure. Oh, that would have stung. That would have hurt. And haven't they done that with like Falcon's wings? Didn't they do that at one point? Someone on the live stream mentioned the neck moves. Oh, sweet. So it wouldn't look like when she's in this pose, it wouldn't look like the Phoenix was pecking at the back of her neck, which is probably a good thing. So you could turn it to the side, have the beak in line with the hair. Yeah, I think the flame effect is cool, but I don't see any way that it could bend in. Like I see no joints whatsoever, because that would be sweet. And again, I'm not dogging them. I think this thing looks really good. Do you think they will use the same mold for Excalibur Phoenix? Man, you know what my gut says about Excalibur Phoenix? If you're asking about the Phoenix itself, my gut says if you want a Phoenix to use with your Excalibur Phoenix, you're going to need to get this Jean Grey so you can get that effect piece. Now, I don't think they'll use the same mold exactly if you're talking about the body they're using, only because I believe the Excalibur Phoenix had spikes all over her. So they'll at least need to redo, well, what is it, guys? It's the arms for sure, right? I'm trying to remember the design of her. I read Excalibur during the 90s, but I'm having a hard time remembering. Like, I basically read it for Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler, because X-Men. But I don't know. My gut really is that if you're talking about the Phoenix accessory, you're going to need to get this so that when that Phoenix does come out, you'll have it to use. Mr. McDysentery, the Phoenix flame effect is in pieces. I want the flame base for flaming upward. Okay, got it. Yeah, I knew it was in pieces, but my head immediately went to, wait, who uses a flaming bird? And this is me just not knowing my Street Fighter like I'd like to. Or like I should, maybe is more accurate. All I know is they needed flame effects for the Jada Dalsim with an extra head for his Yoga Flame Fire move. You know what? That's true. I didn't even think of that. I was so stoked by what Dalsim came with that I didn't even think about it. Backlight the flame base. It would be amazing. Oh, you're not wrong. Oh, hit it with a couple large panel lights. Like with this one, you could hit it with like tap. So I've talked about in tutorials, there's an app called Best Nightlight. So if you take your, even if you take your phone and you take a tablet, or if you have multiple tablets, just set a tablet like diagonal behind her and then set that Best Nightlight to whatever color light you want to use and hit it. Oh, that would look so cool. And if you hit it just right, then she would have some of the glow on the edge of her that would look like the flame effect itself was causing the glow. Oh, that would look awesome. Good call, Harry. Yeah, and you don't even need those. You can get just regular old panel lights. You can use desk lamps. Ooh, that would look good. She's got spikes all over. That's what I thought, John. I couldn't remember for sure, though. Appreciate the help. Let's see, little ones, but they're all over. Yeah, and there's spikes enough where everybody knows there's spikes. So if the Legends team decided, I know what we can get away with, let's just add silver dots all over her, people would flip out. So yeah, I think you're looking at a new mold for that one. All right, let's get back to it because I think we're close because I did go in alphabetical order. Ah, man, that's good. Ooh, that almost looks like it's not just, it doesn't just swivel. It looks like it might be on a ball joint. Or maybe the beak is just pointed up and I didn't notice. Now, I held on to this. I did save this pick because I just like the look of it. That was the first, let's see, my first Uncanny X-Men book was 273, which was 2 issues before this one. So this was really my first X-Men team. And I wanted to get the Legends. Then the reviews came out. And I'm like, oh, I want them. But yeah, maybe I don't. But yeah, I love this team. Just the look. I thought, wow, they look like a team. But as years have progressed, I like the individual looks a little more. Still, I love what Shooting the Galaxy did here. And obviously, it sounds like they're going to do a repaint of this Professor X, so he looks a lot more like that. Yep, and there's the prof from the inside of the comic. It's been a long time since I read it, so I couldn't have told you that. But that's pretty sweet. And that head looks almost sinister. Like they're totally going to use that head for another X-Men 97 Professor X, I'm guessing. Huh. Then we're at Venom. I don't know about you guys. This was kind of underwhelming, perhaps, but I'm not an MCU guy. I'm not a Sony Pictures guy. I'm not that guy. So maybe others thought he was cool. See, they need to give a new Pyro. They recently did Avalanche and Blob. That's true. And the other Pyro was pretty good, but this one could use some help. Or yeah, they definitely need a new one just to match up with those. Although, I don't know, the Avalanche isn't very good. I think they need to redo Avalanche, but the Blob is pretty sweet. Mr. Spencer, Hasbro gave me one of those boxes, the one with Psylocke, as an apology for my West Coast Adventures Iron Man. Had duplicates, one right hand and missing a left. What did you think of it? Because, you know, I mean, I wondered about the West Coast Avengers box set, but yeah, I would have taken the X-Men over that. Only because, like I said earlier, I really didn't read the Avengers so much growing up. He looks like Lex Luthor. Maybe that's the Sinister Head thing going on. Like, yeah, I don't know about that guy. That's pure awesomeness. I'm faux show getting this Professor X. I might wait until he gets the, well, I'm saying that. I probably won't get him, but he is cool. I'd rather get him in the purple and gold, but we'll see. If he comes out looking really good in the purple and gold, I might backtrack, but again, I don't know. I don't know. See, Venom is very extra man. I think that's definitely where I'm at on Venom. I ended up with them both. Oh, nice, John. West Coast Avengers box set is decent. Not top tier, but great at discount. And a lot of those Amazon box sets end up going on discount, which is pretty sweet. Mr. McDysentery. It's a fine enough fig, but I have negative interest in the Sony Spider-Verse. Yeah, my interest in that. I saw the first Venom. I thought it was okay. The second one I fell asleep at. And for context, I never fall asleep at movies. So, so yeah, the second one I kind of decided, no, I'm good. And I haven't tried any of the others because of just how bad I've heard they all are. I do like the tendril thing. I think that's cool. Maybe paint them a little differently and add those to the other Venoms, like the comic ones. Okay. Now, this here, I believe, is the problem people had mostly, at least what I heard, when it comes to having to buy all these figures to get that Blackheart. Good Lord, the brain stopped working for a minute there. But yeah, people seemed to make it so this was the one that they weren't big fans of. I gotta say, I think this Helverine or Wolverine Ghost Rider, whatever it is, I think it looks really cool. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get it, but I think it looks cooler than a lot of the other figures. So maybe if we're talking, well, I was just gonna say, if we're talking kid appeal, but this isn't gonna be on shelves anywhere. So maybe this is one that probably shouldn't have been included with this. Maybe this Wolverine should have been on or in an assortment that goes on shelves. Or have any comic waves really been showing up when it comes to Targets and Walmarts lately beyond like the retro waves? I do think he's cool, but if we're going back and we're looking at the figures that come in the Build-A-Figure wave, I love Wolverine, but I probably wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I probably would actually. If I were still getting Legends, I would get this because it's a Wolverine, because I'm that guy. And Professor X looks really cool. And Phoenix looks awesome. And Odin looks awesome. So I'm trying to go back to find all the other figures. Right now we're at Wolverine. We're at Moon Knight, who I think just doesn't look good. Get past Man Thing. Wolverine, Moon Knight, Lilith is another one who is kind of, I mean, she'd shelf warm if she were on shelves. So there's the third. Wolverine, Moon Knight, Lilith. Damian Hellstrom, he'd also shelf warm for. Dracula. Dracula might have a shot. There's 5. Bloodstorm. She looks cool, but I don't think she'd sell well in shelves or on shelves. And then Blackheart here. And this guy, Brother Voodoo. See, I can learn. Who I don't think would do all that well either. So it's a good wave to have at online retailers, but I wonder how much interest collectors have in all these other figures, if not for Blackheart. Like, which figures are your favorites in the Blackheart wave, guys? Harry, look at the pins on those joints. Yeah, I did notice Wolvie has the pins. Helverine, whatever they're calling him. I'm in on this Wolverine if it comes with a basic masked head and hands. This is too specific for me. Looks cool. Yeah, I think he looks good. I do like the adamantium look. I'd almost be tempted if he didn't have the flames coming out of the adamantium, honestly. Like suddenly we've just got a big Wolverine head that's all metal. If you miss the ML brown suit Wolvie but have hands and heads, you can pop and swap. I wonder about that. I had the first brown suit Wolverine and then I had the retro, and you couldn't pop and swap because the colors were wrong. Like, they were both the brown suit Wolverine, but the colors didn't match at all. So hopefully they do a better job here. That's one of my complaints with Legends, is like, I can get the brown suit Wolverine from a company like Mafex and have everything I need. But with Legends, it's like, oh man, so close, but this didn't match with this. And then I was so close, oh, but that didn't match here, you know, that kind of thing. Like, you spend a lot of money to get a perfect version of a figure with Legends. And that was one of the things that irritated me, was having those two Wolverines and not being able to swap parts. Spaded One, wonder how that Storm skin tone lines up with the X-Men 97 Storm for a basic leather Mohawk Storm. You know what? They didn't do that Storm in X-Men 97, did they? In the line? I think they just did the white costume, right? Because I think you might have just called a repaint. I think that's probably something they'll do, is they'll just repaint it up, or maybe even use the same paint scheme. Pop a Mohawk head Storm on there. Mohawk head Storm, yes. A Mohawk Storm head on there, and change out some hands and be good to go. There's a lot of the X-Men stuff that you kind of notice going, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. Man-Thing is the best, in my opinion. Drac number 2. The others, I'm really not interested. All right. So, yeah, I do wonder. I wonder how that Blackheart wave's going to do. Wave 1 Storm is white costume with Mohawk. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So what I'm thinking is what they'll do is just pop that head off and put it on Bloodstorm's body, and suddenly now you've got the animated Storm. Obviously, they'd probably change out the hands too. Yeah, I think Odin is great. I think they really stepped it up with Phoenix. And I'm trying to think of what else was just ridiculous from this. I think the Rogue Destiny 2-pack wouldn't be bad if they just had that better waist articulation. But overall, Odin and Phoenix are the wins to me. And this Blackheart, again, he looks cool. If he had a ball peg waist and he were deluxe and they were selling him separately, I'd definitely pick him up. I like characters that look just totally different than everybody else. Everybody else just looks like a person. This looks like a person with a demon head and tail. So yeah, I mean, for me, someone who doesn't traditionally pick up Marvel Legends, to see two figures that I'm pretty impressed with in here, although one of them is because of the accessories she comes with, I'm thinking they're going to step it up. And I mean, I'm thinking they've already stepped it up. And if Marvel Legends truly starts giving off ball peg waists, and I'll say it a zillion times until it happens, then I'm going to start spending more money on Marvel Legends, because they come with enough stuff now. For a while, they weren't even coming with enough stuff. Now they come with enough stuff. And if they just switch up that articulation scheme, ooh, I'm going to love picking up some Marvel Legends. And one of the reasons is because for this channel to blow up, I need to talk about Marvel Legends more, really, I think. Because I think most anybody could start a channel and talk about Marvel Legends and blow it up. Only because there's so many years and so many figures. Like, people grew up with Marvel Legends. There's second generation people doing Marvel Legends now. So it's built into the culture. So yeah, here's the thing, Dan, Ryan, Dwight, if you guys are listening, you're not. But if you are, here's the thing. If you guys start making ball peg waists, that would be awesome, because then I could blow up this channel and talk about how great your stuff is when it's really great. What do you think? Deal? Deal? Maybe? Ish? I'm at least hoping for the ball peg waist. Don't worry, there doesn't need to be a deal. There just needs to be ball peg waists. That Blackheart is super sweet, but I'm not buying all these other figs to get them. I'll wait for the standalone release in a year or two. That's what I'm thinking they'll do. They seem to do that with pretty much all of them. Even if, what was Man-Thing, it was 9 years or something, or 8 years, 8 or 9 years between the Build-A-Figure and this release. But one thing that might have happened, and I haven't looked it up, is you might be able to get on eBay and get the original Man-Thing a lot cheaper than you could have before. But I don't know. Like, if you're missing them, who knows? But I think that's pretty much everything. We went over SDCC exclusives. We went over other type figures that we don't normally talk about. We went over, let's see, the photogenic figures of the past week, which is always fun for me. And then we went over the Marvel Legends, which was a more fun group of figures than it has been in quite a while. So I'm pretty stoked. I had a blast with this fine live stream. I still want Zabu. Oh, who are you missing, John? Is it Cable? I know a lot of people are still trying to get that Cable. I'm cherry picking from the wave. Let's see. Strom, Wolverine, Dracula. When you say Strom, you mean Hellstrom or do you mean Storm? But yeah, I think that Wolverine looks really cool. I just, yeah. And that Dracula, I wish I knew more about what was going on with his torso articulation, because he does look wicked. Yeah. Oh, it's all good stuff. I mean, that's something I can't fault the Legends team on, is their stuff looks really good now. For a long time, for a couple of years there, it was like everything was phoned in. Now you can see they're stepping it up. Really should have had a Werewolf by Night, let's see, to go with that Man-Thing. Yeah. They did call it the Werewolf by Night Man-Thing. So hopefully they'll come out with a Werewolf by Night to go with his Man-Thing. I can't imagine that's too far behind. I'm missing all of them. I wasn't going to buy so many figs for Zabu. Too much money. I think Cable is the only one I actually wanted. Yeah, I'm still, I mean, like LBZ said earlier, he was talking to me, like, if you missed, I don't think you did. You've been here pretty much the whole time, but he was talking to me about that Cable, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, he's got the waist twist, but he's got the belt that hides the waist twist. So he is tempting, because that head sculpt, I mean, he looks good. A Jack Russell / Werewolf 2-pack would be a dream. Ooh. Ooh. That wouldn't be bad, would it? But would they do it? Moon Knight looks good. Mr. Savage, thank you for checking things out. What about, so we were trying to figure out what was up with Moon Knight. He looks like there was something that I couldn't put my finger on the body, and LBZ brought up that his head looks like, because of the hood, it looks too big. Do you think, I mean, I was just curious what you thought about that. Just checking him out, because I was really trying to figure out what is it that looks off to me. I like the gold, I have to say. I don't think he looks terrible or anything. There's just something looks off to me. But I'm only interested in Odin. Yeah, Odin and Phoenix for the Phoenix. Great idea. Yeah, Jack Russell and Werewolf by Night. Ooh. All right, folks. I think that's what we got, unless anybody's got anything else. The Moon Knight Mezco is awesome. Now, the Moon Knight Mezco looks insanely good. So does the amazing Yamaguchi Moon Knight. Both of those look really cool. Do you have the Mezco? That Brother Voodoo screams, "We have Spawn at home." Oh, there's going to be so many people that are going to get to the Legends part and be like, Baron Mordo, what's he talking about? I need to see the Jack Russell figure. Will they do it? Is Jack Russell, is he rumored? Oh, nice, Alex. Nice. Yeah, he looks awesome. The Moon Knight Mezco is one of their worst. What? Oh, no. Oh, dear. See, I think he looks incredible, but I haven't messed with any Mezco. Let's see. Oh, man. But yeah, is Jack Russell. So what else? What's been rumored that we haven't seen yet this year? Because I'm curious how much they're going to do, like how much work they're going to do that could be similar to Odin or even Phoenix. I mean, any other figures like that that just have massive accessories that could be done really cool, like any that just spring to the top of your minds, because I haven't been paying attention here. See, the ankles suck and the material is weird, won't last long. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, anytime that pleather stuff shows up, I didn't think of that. That does make me nervous sometimes. And I don't know, is there something you can do about that? I know that it seems like the Batman 89 started breaking pretty much right away because of the rubber suit, but there's got to be something you can put on that materials to make it so it doesn't crack so much, I would think, but maybe not. They got to do Jack Russell or at least the werewolf. Man Thing is MCU Werewolf by Night branded. They got to do the namesake. I totally agree. You would think that would be, maybe that's a hint. Maybe that's them saying, you know, guys, this is, I mean, right now, you're right. With it being Werewolf by Night branded, that would be like an Iron Man retro wave without an Iron Man, though I'm sure several people would be okay with that because we're loaded with Iron Mans, but you know what I'm talking about. So I think you're right. LBZ, oh yeah, Medicom summer event will be 6/24. Oh no. Oh, don't say that to me. Oh dear, yeah. Yeah. That'll be, is the summer event the same thing from last year where we saw the prototypes? Like the prototypes that showed, I mean, it showed this Batman or the recent Night Crusader Batman that's still to my left over here. It showed Bane. It showed the Wolverine and the Cyclops from Age of Apocalypse. Was that the summer event? Oh, oh no. Die while it die. That's why the hashtag was invented. Rumor, Apocalypse, Colossus, and Archangel Angel. Was Apocalypse rumored? I remember that Colossus and Archangel were. Holy crap, if they do Apocalypse. Let's see, reveal. Yeah. Werewolf and Jack Russell Terrier. I caught that. We had a couple Jack Russell Terriers when I was growing up. We'll probably hear about those too. Oh, man. Oh, LBZ. This is going to be a good time. This is going to be a good June. I can't wait to see what's going on with all that. Oh, Mayfax, take my money. As we're sitting here talking about Marvel Legends. Odin, the Odin figure can take my money, but then Mayfax has taken a lot too. Man, I just want him to finish the clean 97 team with Beast, Sunspot, Jubilee, and Storm's black costume. What would they did Storm's black costume, right? I mean, not for X-Men 97, but what I'm saying is you can still just use the Mohawk. Oh, Lord, I've lost it, I think, guys. You can still use the Mohawk head on that older Storm body. If no, because I don't think that had bicep swivel. You could just maybe redo the arms? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Like that needs to be done. I think Beast and Jubilee for sure. And your Sunspot, yeah, he was in there quite a bit towards the end, wasn't he? He seemed to skip a couple episodes, but I think you're right. I think he was in there enough to get some figure love. That would be, I think they're hinting to so much too, though. Like that Charles Xavier can be redone. He can be repainted for X-Men 97. That Rogue can be done for X-Men 97 that they showed today. Beast, you know that's just switching out heads with what they've already got. Sunspot, I don't know how they do it. And you know what? I sit here and say that this is an animation style that's a lot smoother. So it might be that Beast requires an all new mold and they're trying to figure out how they could reuse it. Jubilee maybe doesn't require much new tooling, although I haven't been impressed by the Jubilees they've made. And I've had one of them. And I thought, this is kind of gangly and the joints don't fit well together and it's weird. But I did like that original Storm costume figure that I had, minus the fact that she didn't have bicep swivel. But yeah, that would be a dream for the X-Men 97 crew. And I love that series, man. That series was so good. No, you're good. I got you. Sent you some new pics of the Mafex Bane on IG. Oh, bird. Oh, I'm going to need it. I'm going to need him. If nothing else, he's going to be good for the channel. By the way, thank you, LBZ. I appreciate it. Bane. People will love Bane. I did a poll, by the way, today, if you guys didn't see it, on the YouTube and on the Twitter, where I said, which of these figure lines has been, which is your favorite on here? Because I've been basically focusing on these 4 figure lines for the last month with my videos. And they were Action Force, G.I. Joe Classified, Mafex, and the NECA TMNT. And Classified is the clear winner, with Mafex the clear number 2, and then Action Force and NECA TMNT are somewhere way in the back. So expect a lot more when it comes to Mafex and expect more when it comes to Classified. Now, I will say this about Action Force. I haven't tested the waters enough there where I think that was a true number, though I have tested the waters quite a bit with the NECA Turtles. So I'll probably be trying to get some more Action Force content in here. Just because, I mean, I love both those lines, but I think Action Force and G.I. Joe just mix so well together. It's good stuff. Makes me happy. But yeah. All right, guys. I think we've said all the things. And I think we've gotten a lot of conversation out of this. I think that Marvel Legends is definitely on the upswing. If they get me my ball peg waists, it's going to be tough to say no. They're looking really good. They're coming with tons of stuff. They're starting to figure it out. They're starting to crush it. So I can't wait to see, hopefully within the next year or two, their articulation will catch up with a lot of what's going on in the industry. But thanks as always for taking the time to check out tonight's live stream. It is, of course, massively appreciated. And until next time, have fun. Happy snapping. See ya. Look,